lovely people, Nina here. So this week I've been reading The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, and I absolutely love this book. I started it originally for Halloween because I wanted like magical witch type books for October and for the Halloween season, and I finished it in November and I absolutely loved it. This book is so cute. I can see why it has the Newbery medal on it, because the writing in this is absolutely beautiful. It follows this town who each year they sacrifice a child to the woods, which sounds super dark. I talked about this book a little bit in my last video because I had started reading it and I had liked it so far, and I finished it and I absolutely love it. But it follows a town which is haunted by this like witch, and in order for the witch to stay away from the town, they sacrifice a child to her, and it turns out that this town is kind of like creepy and unsettling, maybe is a word that I would use for it. And the one year they sacrifice a baby girl, and they drive the mother mad because they tell her that the girl doesn't exist and that it wasn't like an actual thing, and they lock her away. And the girl that gets sacrificed to the woods is sacrificed to a witch, but the witch is not actually evil. You find out that the witch is good, and her name is Zan, and Zan has been saving these babies from the woods, and Zan doesn't know why they appear every year, but every year she saves them. And there's like a swamp monster and a dragon. Glurk, I think, is the swamp monster's name. And they're friends of Zan and they help her. And Zan, in order to keep the children like healthy on the long journey back to a different, like the different end of the woods to save the children, feeds them starlight, and it makes the children glow. And so when the children grow up amongst their new families, she knows which ones are the ones she saved because they're full of starlight and they glow. One baby that comes to the woods, though, she names her Luna because she accidentally feeds her moonlight instead of starlight. And so she ends up keeping Luna, this witch ends up keeping Luna and raising her as her own. And she starts out as kind of like a wild child, and Zan doesn't really know what to do with her because she's just like everywhere and she's using her magic all over the place, and she's a child. And so she's like trying to deal with her. But then as Zan grows older, and Luna grows older, Luna starts discovering her powers and feeling like something's like writing to her, calling to her. And the whole time you are in this story, you're flipping like back and forth between characters, and you're also learning about a mad woman who escapes from this tower through magic, and is trying to find her daughter. And then you also have Zan, who is trying to save these children and trying to help Luna, and the whole just not mystery but like magical story unfolds, and you slowly start learning about the town where Luna came from and why they do what they do, and basically they're evil, and everything that goes with it. And there's also a boy from the town who we learn about, who is trying to locate the witch so his child doesn't have to be sacrificed, as another whole plot and story. It's just really amazing, and the writing in it is just gorgeous. On page, wait, I'll show you, 133 I think it is. But Luna's favorite books were ones about astronomy, the moon especially. She loved the moon so much. She wanted to wrap her arms around it and sing to it. She wanted to gather every morsel of moonlight into the great bowl and drink it dry. She had a hungry mind, an itchy curiosity, and a knack for drawing, building, and fashioning. So she talks about how much she just loves being creative and loves reading, and her love for the moon because she's full of moonlight is just like the most beautiful description. And the whole book has this. There's one on page 134 too. Let me see if I can find it. This is another line where she's talking to Glurk, who's a swamp monster, and Firion, who's the dragon. And Firion, they're talking with the cricket that Luna has just made. And the cricket says, the dragon says, I think you are both right, because the swamp monster says, Glurk says the cricket can't read, and Luna says, of course it can't read. And so he says, I think you are both right, Firion said, trying to make peace. I love foolish things and clever things. I love all things. It's just everything, and the way that this is written is just so beautiful. And the language in it, and I absolutely loved it. It had me captivated and turning the page, and I really, really would recommend this just because I haven't read like gorgeous writing like this in like a while. And as I was looking this up and researching this, I found out that the author, it made me really sad, fell and had a like brain injury, and so she's been struggling to write again and has been recovering and learning to write. And she has other books that she's written, but now she's struggling to write again, and it makes me really sad. She's continuing and trying again, but because I loved this book so much, I was just sad to read that, because she really did write like a very beautiful work of art. And even though it is middle grade, so younger, I feel like this is good for like any age category. I loved it, and yeah, I just think it's very beautiful. So that was my read this week. I would suggest that you read this. It's a very good cozy fall read. So yeah, that is it for this week's video. Let me know what book I should read next. I'm not quite sure. I am just moving my October TBR to my November TBR, so I haven't chosen new books for November. So I'm kind of just going off of vibes, I guess. Going off of what I want to read. And yeah, so that is it. That is it. I love you all. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you have a good Friday. As always, free Palestine, free Sudan, free Congo. We need to keep our eyes on these countries and not let the world forget them. And I will post more information down below. That is it. I love you all. I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye!